Hello, in this video I will show you how to create new SQL virtual machine on Azure. So here on Azure portal, search for the SQL virtual machines and you will see this page. You can click here on the create and you will see that Azure basically has three offers: SQL database, SQL managed instances, and SQL virtual machines. SQL database is fully managed solution. SQL managed instance is also managed, but this SQL virtual machine offers the full administrative control over your SQL Server instance. And also it is 100% compatible with on-premise solutions. So if you want to migrate your on-premise SQL database to Azure, this might be a good solution. So we can choose free server 2019 on Windows Server 2019, for example. I'm choosing free developer edition because I will use this machine for my development purposes, but you can choose whatever image you want actually, and you can click create here. And you will see that image is automatically chosen here, but you can choose your subscription, choose your resource group, choose your virtual machine name, for example, virtual machine 2, choose your region, and here for the size, which is actually very important because of the performance and the price, you can choose the size. Here there is error that this size is not available in zone 1, so I will just choose zone 2. But you can feel free to click see all sizes here. Sizes will be different based on, for example, region you choose. So you will probably see some other options, and you will see here a bunch of virtual machine sizes, and they are grouped by series. I will choose to not to group them, and after ungrouping is finished, I will click here to sort by cost. I will not choose the cheapest one, although this is my development machine. I will choose one with at least 2 CPUs and at least 4 disks. More disk is better because you can make it resizable at some later point. So I will choose select here and will choose my username for this machine and will choose the password and confirm the password here. It has some requirements to have at least one small one big letter and stuff like that. And if you already have a license, you can choose click here for the Azure hybrid benefit, but I don't, so I will unclick it. And we can go ahead on disks here. Here for the disk, by default it is chosen this size, which is okay because this is just for the operating system and stuff like that. SQL Server will be actually on the separate disk. I actually don't want premium SSD because it is more costly, so I'll choose standard HDD. Prices for disks are not shown here, but prices for the storage is separate from the virtual machine, and you can see prices here. Or if you go to search for the pricing of the disks, I will choose networking here, and you can choose existing virtual network or you can create new one. New public IP address will be created. By default, RDP port for connecting to virtual machine will be chosen, so you can connect to it freely. And this default settings seems fine, so we'll click next on the management. You can choose if you want to keep your cost down to select auto shutdown, and your machine will be automatically shut down at some point. You will even get email 30 minutes before shutting down, so you can postpone it or stuff like that. And you're not billed for the amount of the time when virtual machine is off, only for the storage. So you can go ahead and click monitoring here, and I can disable it because this is my development workload. Click advanced, and here default settings seems fine. So we'll go ahead and click here, SQL Server settings. These are very important. I want to connect to my SQL server from the public internet. This might not be a perfect security measure, but since this is development machine, I will choose that. I will choose default port. Also might be not be perfect security measure, but to keep it simple, we choose this one. We'll choose definitely to enable SQL authentication, and by default it is chosen login name and the password for the machine itself. That might be fine for me. And here is important stuff. We can click storage here, and here by default it is chosen premium SSD and 1 terabyte. This might be too much for me. It is 1 terabyte premium SSD P30, and if I go here I can see it costs above $100. So we'll choose, for example, this one, and it is one disk, and I also can choose to share the data drive for the logs, and click OK here. So only one disk will be created of 256 gigabytes, and it is premium SSD. And here this default settings seems fine. Since this is for development purposes, I will choose to disable automatic backup. You can tag it if you want. For example, environment, it is development, and you can go ahead and click review and create. If there are some errors will be shown here, but hopefully there will be no errors. So validation passed, and I can see the price for the 1 hour, about $41. I think we saw that here on the basic that it will cost around $41. That is correct. And we can basically go ahead and click create here, and virtual machine is created. It will take some time, especially because under the hood SQL is also installed and configured. So we will wait to be finished. And after some time, virtual machine is created. We can actually connect to it. So if we click here on the connect, we can download RDP file, and we can go ahead and type the password for this virtual machine, and we can see that we can successfully RDP to this machine. Also, we can go ahead and connect to the for the SQL server. So yeah, you can see that it is loading. So go ahead and on the SQL Management Studio, type your admin name, your server name, and the password. And since we allowed this port when we were creating virtual machine and SQL Server, this should work. So yeah, here it is, and we successfully connected to it. While we are still here on the virtual machine, we can search for the SQL, and we can actually manage SQL virtual machine from here. So if we click it, we will go to SQL Server virtual machine, but also we can visit this page if we search for the SQL virtual machines, and we'll see here all the virtual machines, and actually this one we created, and we will see the same as here. Basically what we see here is the disk for this SQL. So it is, if you remembered, we created 156 of the premium disk, and we can actually configure it here, change its size and stuff like that. So basically we have SQL on the virtual machine, but some platform as a service capabilities are still here. So we can manage disk size for the SQL. We can manage its backup. You can enable and disable backups. We can choose addition of the SQL server. Currently this developer that is selected, and this option is actually possible through this SQL AS agent extension, and this is automatically installed, so you don't have to do anything about it. But what it allows, it that brings some platform as a service capabilities to this Azure virtual machine. So it is not fully managed like SQL database offering from the Azure, but it is, I think, nice compromise. If you go to the SQL Azure SQL, by the way, here we can see all the SQL offerings. So we have like SQL database, SQL server, but also SQL virtual machines. So this is one place to see all SQL related things. And that's it for this video. We shown how to create virtual machine which has SQL server on it, and how to manage some SQL related stuff here just from the Azure portal.